It's the Chill Spot Podcast.
We are the Chill Spot Podcast. We're chilling with the podcast. We have a podcast where we chill.
Anyway.
Welcome.
Sam.
Yes, Kim?
I saw a rabbit fight a couple nights ago.
Rabbits fight?
Yeah, it was like a crazy fucking anime fight.
Oh my god.
I was parked over on a street close to my home, and I was just hanging out. And I noticed a scuffle. I noticed a lively
kerfuffle?
scuffle between two what looked like rabbits.
Yeah.
And I looked close, and it was two rabbits. And they do this thing where like they dart. They're like, and they stop. And then one moves, and then the other's like, whoa! And it jumps up in the air and did like a backflip.
Yeah.
And like landed, and they're like, and then they went, like they run down the road.
So rabbits are ninjas.
I don't know what the fuck they were fighting about, but
wow.
They were fighting. Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
A rabbit turf war.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But how was your week?
My week was good. I mentioned earlier in a podcast that I was in the process of looking for a new job, and shit really hit the fan at my current job. So
yeah,
I'm just I'm really glad that process was already like in the works.
Sam's job at the anal cow factory. The shit really hit the fan. Yeah. And you're tired of that, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
You just don't want to be covered in shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm really tired of being covered in shit all the time, and they don't pay me enough to be covered in shit all the time, especially not my shit.
Well, especially on days like today where we have to record when you come home and don't shower.
Yeah.
And this whole studio reeks of shit.
Yeah, the fort smells like shit.
Yeah.
The fort is what I refer to as a recording area, by the way, because we have to hang up blankets. Like we have to like cut off part of your basement to soundproof it a little bit better.
Our recording studio is a TV, a couch, 3 blankets, and lots of Beatles memorabilia.
Yeah, so
and my uncle's piano.
It just feels like it feels like a grown up blanket fort. So I call our recording space the fort. And you know what? Even fair. After we move to a better space, if we ever find a better space to record in, I'm still gonna call it the fort.
That's fair.
Just to throw it back.
I do the same.
But yeah, no,
that's a cute name for it.
Shit hit the fan of my new job, or my old job, and at my current job, I should say. And now I am in the last stages of getting a new job.
Nice.
This new job is
and they made you do some fucked up shit today.
They didn't make me do some fucked up shit. The new job is very like physically demanding, so I had to like take a physical test. Like I had to. It was crazy. It felt very fair, but it was just like they really want to make sure that you can do the physical stuff that comes with this job, and I actually kind of appreciate it because I
mean, they're paying you what, $20 an hour?
$19 an hour.
Okay. So yeah, you know, they want to they don't want to be like, they don't want to hire a schlep, right?
Yeah, well, they just don't want to hire somebody who has like who wouldn't be able to do it, you know, like
bone spurs or something.
Exactly. So I really appreciated that, but it was hard. I had to like, well, okay, so it took place in like a physiotherapist's office. So like the company is like they work in tandem with a physiotherapist to do, this physical test. And basically, I had to go to the physiotherapist's office at 8 a.m. because I didn't want to cut into our recording time too much. And
I appreciated that.
Yeah. And I had to. So first, she started off. She had this like milk crate with like handles attached to it, and she like had me. There was like one shelf, and then there was like a shelf above. And she was like, "Okay, lift this box from the ground and put it on the lower shelf." And I was like, okay. And she's like, can you do that for an hour? And I was like, yeah. Or no, she asked me if I could do that. She said, can you do that once an hour? And I said, yes. And she was like, okay, try adding a weight. And I was like, okay. And that process just sort of like repeated. I would lift the box, put it on the shelf, put it back on the ground. And she would say, can you do that once an hour? And then I would say yes. And then I would add more weight. Mm-hmm. And then she had me do another exercise where she had this like machine with like handles on it. And she was like, okay, we're going to work on like pushing and pulling. So she would like attach the machine to like a piece of equipment. And she was like, okay, pull. And I had to like pull with all my might. And then like there was another machine, or no, sorry, it was the same machine. I just didn't have to like pull on it. But she was just like, okay, like take this machine and like push against the wall. And like push against the wall as hard as you can. And I was like, okay. And it like measured the amount of pressure that I put on it.
Right.
I have no idea what the numbers mean. Mm-hmm. I probably should have asked.
Do you want to say what Like, not where you're getting the job, but like what the job is.
It's to be a letter carrier. It's to be a mail person.
To be in mail, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a mail carrier.
She's gonna be the mail person.
Yeah, so...
Chased by dogs.
No, they're gonna love me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty intense. Like, it wasn't, they strapped, like, she had, like, a real, like, legit, like, mail carrier satchel that I would be carrying, on the job, and she like loaded it up with weights and made me like walk upstairs and like walk back and forth like in and out of the office a bunch of times, and I was like timed, like there was a point where she was like, okay, you might want to hurry up a little bit, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I thought I was doing a good job.
Hey man, it kills me, right? Because like most people I know who deliver the mail like are not these like physical specimens.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of just normal ass people.
Well, in my research for doing the job, I read someone's post, because like someone asked on like a message board randomly a really long time ago, like 10 years ago, they're like, what is it like to work as a mail carrier person for the mail company?
Yeah. And the mail company.
Yeah.
Mail.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. We live in Canada.
Yeah. So I read it, and someone gave this like really, really detailed, like really actually informative and helpful answer, and they were like, depending on the manager that you have, they might not like giving you overtime. So I think the reason why I was timed so hard on that exercise at the physiotherapist's office was because like they wanted to see if I could like carry large, if I took a long time whilst carrying heavy loads, you know, because if you take a long time like doing your route, they're gonna have to give you overtime. So they're basically assessing like, okay, is this person gonna cost me a lot of overtime if I hire them?
They wanted to see if you were a spitter or a quitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Which like
fair when dealing with heavy loads,
but also like don't be a cheapskate. Like
no, I know.
Like, come on now. I'm young and like I work efficiently, don't get me wrong. Currently at my job, like I'm like the third fastest like grocery picker at my like current job.
You're the third fastest shit picker. Yeah. Out of the anal canal. Yeah. I
can yank the cow shit out the third fastest out of 8 people.
So like that's a bit, but that's a real thing that people have to do, because I mean, I'm sure they've since dealt with this.
Yeah, you definitely have to muck shit.
No, but I mean, like, cows used to be fed cow feed, which is a certain way to, like, grow corn. It's, like, a really, like, hard corn. Mm-hmm. But corn, as anyone who's eaten corn knows, isn't fucking good for you at all. Mm-hmm. It has no nutritional value. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you eat corn and you take a dump, it's mostly corn. Yeah. So, when these cows eat these corn, sometimes it's all they eat. Mm. So, it gets stuck in their fucking, like, guts. Oh. So, farmers have to scoop it out. There's like, you have to like drill a hole in the cow and like scoop it out and shit. I saw this in a documentary. I saw this in
Food Inc.
It might have been Food Inc. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think they do that anymore.
Can you imagine what it would feel like
to have shit scooped out of you?
Yes.
Well, I imagine it'd be very relieving.
But like to know that it was coming out by force and not of nature.
Right. Like you're not like squeezing your guts together.
The most anything has ever helped me poop is like I got really constipated once as a kid and had to like take a laxative.
Your mom just like punched you in the stomach.
No. Yeah,
she put a plunger to your butt and just
just like sucked it out of me. I wish. Have you ever been really constipated? Have you ever been truly constipated before? Have you ever had a plunger
suck shit out of your ass?
No, have you ever been truly constipated before?
Yeah,
like
totally.
Like it is the worst feeling in the world.
It's not a nice feeling, that's for sure.
I would much rather have diarrhea than constipation.
Oh,
because
God.
Diarrhea, like, listen, I already sit on the toilet for a long period of time on my phone and shit like that. If it's just, like, coming out of me, I don't mind it. At least it's coming out of me.
Right.
But, like, I know, like, dysentery is a fear, but, like, I would rather stuff just come out of me and then I die.
I don't think...
Listen, there
it's
are modern...
1885, so dysentery is...
There are modern instances of dysentery. It can happen to you. It's not common. It's like getting scurvy. You know what I mean? Like, if you get dysentery, like, you neglected something way past the point. Like, it's your fault.
You don't get scurvy because we all eat fruit at least once a little while.
It's your fault if you get dysentery in 2019. But, like, it happens.
Sam was like, I was on the Oregon Trail 250 years ago. And I died of dysentery. I just don't know.
No, but like constipation is the worst because like I remember the one time I had constipation when I was a kid, I really truly believed that I needed to go poo. Mm-hmm. Like the muscles were like warning, like everything was like, there.
Yo,
was, like,
girl, it's happening.
You need to get to a toilet. And then I would sit on a toilet and it would be like, ha ha, nothing's happening.
Take a fat shit.
But it was like a whole day.
Right.
It was a whole day of just like, you need to poop right now. Soik! And like getting on the toilet and just like the muscles are like contracting and I know that there is poop there, but nothing is coming out. It's actual hell. It's like a psychological torture.
So recently, I mean, like, something that happened to me is sort of the opposite of that, where my whole life I'd always had a pretty good cap on like, oh, I gotta shit now, so like I'll use the bathroom. But like in recent years, and this might be a problem as I get older, poop has been far more surprising.
Okay.
I mean, when we were in Cuba,
yes.
Sam and I went to Cuba in January with my brother and his girlfriend.
Shout out to Emma and Duncan.
Duncan and Emma. Emma. And we were on the beach one day, and we were enjoying the ocean, we were enjoying the sand and the sun, and we're sitting on our beach chairs in the shade.
I remember this.
And
it was just you and me, too. Like, they didn't come with us.
Duncan and Emma were somewhere else at the time.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there, and I had the feeling of, like, I kind of got to use the bathroom. Like, we should get going. And then I was like, Sam, let's go. I want to use the bathroom. And she's like, sure. So we pack up all of our stuff.
I was taking my time. Like, I was like, we're on vacation.
Yeah.
Like, Cam always has to shit. Like, I just take my time. It's whatever, baby. It's whatever.
But then,
fuck around.
But then my stomach goes, ooh. And I was like, oh.
And yeah, you're like, I was like sitting, you were like, because whenever we leave a place, whenever we're like, okay, it's time to go, we say that to each other like 2 times, I feel like, before we actually get up and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, like, let's go now. And I was like, okay. And I like sat around and I like tried to start another conversation with you. And I was like squidging my toes in the sand and like having a good time. And then like all of a sudden you were just like, Sam, we have to go.
Yeah.
We have to go.
You don't understand. Like,
yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. Sorry. sorry.
So
I didn't mean to not take you seriously, babe. Sorry.
And then I get up and I start like just like and we're in sand, right?
Like
so,
on yeah, you were on a mission though.
Like running on the I'm getting like shin splints. Yeah. I like took my sandals off at some point. I was like, fuck these things. Like, they don't help at all. Why are they called sandals? And then I'm running and we eventually get back to the entrance of the beach, which had a bathroom.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, listen, I'm not gonna make it to the room. Like, I have to go to the bathroom right now. So I ran in there.
You like dumped you almost threw your stuff at me.
Yeah, I was take it. Like I just
and
I walk up into the bathroom and like anyone who's ever had to really release knows that when you get into the bathroom, like your body recognizes that it's in a bathroom.
You instantly relax.
So it's like, all right, buddy, like this pain you're feeling, it's about to be over forever. But I was like, let's not get burned. I reach over to check the toilet paper, and there's no fucking toilet paper. And I'm like crouched over the sink, like looking at myself in the mirror, like sweating, like you're not gonna poop here. You're not gonna poop, and like I had to like tell my stomach.
You like have that serious talk with yourself.
Yeah, like you know, I imagine like a bunch of cross guards were like stopping traffic. They're like, okay, stop, and like, we got the go ahead. Yeah, we got the go ahead. All right, go. And like, no. Like, stop it again. So I'm like, fucking shit. And I ran out of that bathroom, livid, like so mad at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it didn't have any toilet paper. You're like, oh my god, what?
And like, God bless you. Like, you are so okay. So like, when you're in a state of emergency, you're like, you still maintain your composure very well. Like, you.
Thank you.
You've always, and like, I think it's the reason because I don't like to be like spoken to very meanly. So like, something that I love about you is that even when shit's getting bad, like, you're not very mean about stuff. Mm-hmm. So you came out of that bathroom and you were just like, there's no toilet paper in that bathroom, and like you were serious, but you weren't like if it were me, I'd be like, there's no fucking toilet paper in this fucking bathroom. Take this, I gotta go.
Right.
Where you were just like, there's no toilet paper in that bathroom, and you just said it really fast and like walked away from me.
Yeah, because you knew.
And I was like, okay, Cam's got a shit. I gotta carry all of our stuff, all of our bags, all of our sunscreen, all that shit. I'm just gonna accept it. Just go. Go. There's a bathroom up the path next to the pool.
By the pool.
Just go.
So I ran up to the pool.
Yeah.
And I get into there, and I think like precautions, right? Like it stinks like shit in here.
Yeah.
It's a shitty bathroom.
Yeah.
In this fucking resort, this 3-star resort in Cuba.
Yeah.
So like it's not exactly a nice place.
Yeah.
And then I check and there's no fucking toilet paper in there either.
Yeah.
Now this is the second time.
Yep.
I'm like splashing water on my face.
Yep.
To be like, you just gotta.
Your sphincter is like on fire.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do this.
Like, you know the scenes from like old Superman movies when that's like the Hoover Dam and there's like the cracks in the dam?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
that's my asshole.
Yeah.
My asshole was the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, and it's at the point now where there's like streams of water like coming out of the cracks. Like it's happening.
Like, I'm about to throw out this bathing suit. Like, this is like, and I'm like, so I leave there. I didn't even go see you after this.
No.
I just
No, I got to that bathroom and you were gone.
Actually,
I was like,
I did go to see it because I ran back and I was like, there was no toilet paper in that bathroom either. I need the room key because you had both room keys in your clutch.
That's true.
And you're like, oh, okay, and you put down the stuff and like you took out the clutch and I was like, Sam. Like, and you just gave me the whole thing. You just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it. I had both room keys.
Well, I was moving at a reasonable... I do everything a little bit faster than you do. Like, my standard is still pretty fast, I think. I believe. You know? Like, when we walk, I usually walk ahead of you.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought I was moving, like, I thought I was taking this very seriously. And I, like, put the bag down and I started, like, rooting around in the, like, big bag for, like, my little clutch.
You couldn't find it right away.
Yeah,
it was like,
and you insisted. You didn't yell at me.
Right.
But you, like, insisted. You were like, Sam!
Please,
the clutch!
Like, give me something, right?
And I was like, okay, the whole thing, take it.
And I took the whole thing and I ran...
All my money was in there.
I ran up to our hotel room, which is at the top of a hill.
Yeah.
And we're on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm at the top of this hill.
And there's no elevator.
And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And I get to the 3rd floor, and I'm climbing these steps. Like, every step is a mountain, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God. And I saw the maid's cart outside of another room.
Yep.
So I took some toilet paper from that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck this if I get burnt one more goddamn time today. And I'm running down, and there's these 2 teenagers who, like, I guess saw me do it. They're like, ooh, he's stealing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's stealing. And I was like this close to turning around.
I will poop on you.
And being like, I will fucking kill you.
You, like, grab them by the shirt collar, like, listen, you little punk.
Yeah, like, so I paid them no mind.
There's, like, shit running down your leg.
Ran to the room, and I opened up the room, and I just barely made it. It was like photo finish.
Yeah.
I, like, ripped off this bathing suit, and I'm sitting down, and, like, I get like releases, right? It's a huge release, and I swear to God, I was wearing a muscle shirt, sort of like I'm wearing today. We dress light in the fort because it's hot in here. And I, like, took the muscle shirt off. I'm, like, completely naked.
Why did you take the shirt off?
Because it was hot. It was really hot in the room.
Okay.
And, God, Jesus Christ. It was one of those, like, releases where it didn't even feel that great afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
so traumatic.
Such a fucking ordeal.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's my diarrhea story.
And, like, I remember, I ran into your brother on the way there, and he was like, oh man, did you guys enjoy the beach? I was like, oh yeah, it was really great, it's beautiful there, you gotta go there sometime, like we should all go together on like tomorrow or something like that.
I don't think we ended up going, did we?
Not together, no. But he was like, oh, okay, cool, where's Cam? And I was like, oh, he had to take a massive shit.
Hopefully he's not dead.
And like ran away. I'm just gonna go check on him. He was like, cool. And I fully expected to have to follow a poop trail.
Right.
Like up, like I was gonna find you just like on, and like this is a joke now because everything's okay, but like I was preparing myself as to what to say to you to make you feel better, because I was expecting to get to one of the landings and find you like curled up on the corner like with shit all over yourself.
Yeah.
Humiliated because you have pooped your pants.
But
and like
if there's one thing
I was like, okay, I gotta run damage control, I'm gonna have to like call a maid, I'm gonna have to like the psychological like evaluation I'm gonna have to do on Cam to make him feel better after he shit himself in the hotel stairwell of our bungalow.
Man. Yeah.
Like
but no,
vacation over.
My iron gut
you
persevered.
Made it. I was actually really impressed with you. I was really impressed.
Took some serious self-control.
I got back to the room and you were like lying on the bed.
It's
just like
honestly.
And I was like, did you make it? And you were like, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I like turned the AC all the way up.
Yeah.
And just like laid on the bed. Like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But the trip was great.
Oh yeah, it was a really fun trip. And you know, like now that Duncan is in Kamloops, I'm like really glad that we went on that trip together, because it was like fun quality time. It was just us. Your parents didn't come. No other family came. It was just like the 20-year-olds like hanging out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice.
I look back fondly on that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, we're looking forever. You know?
Oh, man. Do you remember the a la carte restaurants, though?
I do.
So
the first one we went to was terrible.
So our resort was one of like 3 resorts. So
we picked like the mid-grade resort.
Yeah, we paid like $850
all said and told.
All
like,
in, yeah.
For the flight, for the stay.
Yeah.
So reasonable beyond reasonable. Like shout out to Red Tag.
I would dare say cheap. Like
yeah.
Cheap.
Like cheap. Cheap
yeah.
is
Yeah, so
and something had to give on the trip.
Exactly. and it was the food.
Yeah.
So we decided, so with this all-inclusive package that we got like 3 free meals at like the a la carte restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So like instead of going to the buffet, you go to this restaurant and they give you a menu and there'd be like 3 choices for an appetizer, 3 choices for an entree, 3 choices for a dessert, and sometimes there was like a soup or something in between.
Mm-hmm.
And you would just choose from one of those 3 things of each, and then they would just give you your whole like meal. And they had different themes. So there was a Mediterranean one, there was an Italian one, there was a Mexican one, and then there was like it was called like international. It was like very... Yeah, it was very like it was very nebulous. It was very like
international, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very defined, but it was just sort of like modern
food.
Yeah, it was just food.
Come get small portions of food.
Yeah, and they were a step above the buffet, but like
not that many steps though.
No, they were like a half step above the buffet.
Yeah, a solid half step.
Honestly, I think just the fact that it came served to you, not from a hot tin, was like the only step up.
Well, the thing, okay, so we went to the international place first.
Yeah,
we were like, let's just try it out.
We were just like, what do you mean international?
Every single place we went to had something that was out. Mm-hmm. Every single place, the Italian place, the international place, or the Mexican place, all had a menu item that they were out of.
Yeah. So they'd like point to like one of the appetizers and be like, "Oh, we have no more like corn chips."
And it's always like, I don't know, it's always like nachos and queso, or like beans and grass, or like shit on a plate, and you're like, whoa, maybe I'll get the nachos and queso because it sounds like the best one. And every time it was always like,
by the way,
we're out of nachos and queso. Everybody orders that. For some reason they don't want shit on a plate. But okay, so what tipped me off as to the quality of the food was that we sit down in the international restaurant and they bring us our bread.
Yeah.
And it was very clearly a hamburger bun.
Yes.
Cut into 4 pieces.
Yes, yeah. We split a hamburger bun. That was our bread.
Yeah.
That was our bread basket.
They didn't give us any butter.
Yeah.
I don't think there was even any butter. It was just a hamburger bun.
Yeah, some of them gave us butter and some of them didn't. I just ate a plain white piece of Wonder Bread.
Although the salad at that place was good. They had like a nice raspberry salad.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty tasty.
Yeah.
But it was missing something. Remember I said it had cheese, and then that's another thing. No matter what we ordered at any of these places, at least one of the ingredients
was gone.
Would be completely omitted.
Yeah.
Like there'd be like,
and it was never anything like tragic. Like it was like, you can live without cheese in a salad. Mm-hmm. So it was like fine. In the world, yeah. It was fine, but like I was told there was cheese on this salad, and I just kind of expected it to be there, and now it's gone.
Yeah, and then I had like the most rubbery steak I've ever had in my entire life. But the other meals were fine. I enjoyed the Mexican meal more than I thought I would.
Yes.
And then I really enjoyed the Italian meal, because how the fuck do you fuck up Italian food?
How do you fuck up pasta?
Boil pasta and put sauce on it, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember the couple that we ran into on the way into the international restaurant?
No.
It was like this short blonde woman and this like taller white guy.
Yeah.
And like they were both smokers because they had come in from the rain because it started raining.
Yeah.
They were like drenched.
Yes.
And we just noticed that they were very like upset.
Yeah.
The whole evening.
They weren't happy with each other.
And if I can give you guys a mental picture, we're sitting at a square table and the 4 of us sitting on each side. I was sitting on such an angle that I could see them in the corner. Like they were far off at another table. But I had a clear view of them the whole night. And then I swear to God, about like 20 minutes into our evening, the woman just starts like waving her hands like all frustrated. She's, like, when someone's really frustrated, they throw their hands up and down really quickly.
Yeah, because they're like miming that they're like so done with this. They're just like
they're doing like waving her hands, and she like stands up and grabs the pack of cigarettes and leaves. And I thought like, oh, maybe she just talks like that. Yeah. And she's going to smoke.
I certainly talk like that. I talk with my hands.
20 minutes later, she has not come back.
Yeah.
The guy, the entire time though,
went through his meal.
Cool as ice.
He went through his whole meal.
His chicken. He got like another drink. He takes his drink. And then he left.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they got in some crazy fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Or that, like,
what do you think it was about?
This sort of thing happens all the time. I think that, because, okay, so, if I can remember this couple. So the woman had way too much mousse in her hair. You know when someone applies too much mousse in their hair and it looks hard and crunchy?
Yeah, like wet.
Yeah, it looks wet and you know that it like has a crunch to it.
Yeah.
It was like that, and she had like dirty blonde hair. And she had like, I'm sorry, but halter top dresses suck. They don't look good on anybody. I've never.
What exactly is a halter top?
It's
Is that
when it
the
like
one that
ties.
just like rests?
No,
it
it like
ties.
ties in the back,
So it's
and like that's the
bathing
whole
suit.
dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long bathing suit top.
She had like a halter dress on that looked like a handkerchief. You know how in like 2000 and 2001 it was like kind of a style to wear like like things, like shirts that looked like bandanas, and like dresses looked like bandanas. They were like pointy at the ends. They like pointed out at the ends. She was dressed like that. She was dressed like 2001 and had like cheap flip flops on. I was like, girl. And then like the guy had like, what is that Fox brand that guys that like dude bros,
like the skate brand, you mean?
Yeah,
I think it's called Fox, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, no, I think you're right. He was wearing one of those t-shirts, or like a t-shirt that was very like similar to that sort of like design.
It was collared though. It was a collared button shirt, but it was like a skate collared button shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he had like spiked hair, a la like Nick Lachey in 98 Degrees.
Yeah,
in, like,
exactly.
The early 2000s. They just looked like they had stepped out of like a teen bop magazine.
Maybe that's what they were. They were time travelers, and that's what the fight was about. She was like, "Jason, we're here in 2019, and we have to get back to 2001 to run the 2001 audio video that we own. We need to feed our baby, who's now 25, and we're in Cuba in the future, and you're sitting here enjoying your steak, Jason."
She's like, you didn't rewind the Blockbuster video that we rented before you left? It's gonna be 5 days late. I'm not gonna have time to rewind it, and like I can't believe you put me in this position. I can never show my face in that Blockbuster ever again.
They like go back to North America, and like they go up to like a phone booth.
I can't believe I left a screening of 13 going on 30 for this.
We're gonna miss the opening of Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. So like she goes to like a phone book and like opens up the phone book and she's flipping through and like, and she goes to like a nearby store and is like, "Excuse me, where's the closest Blockbuster video?" And they're like, I don't know how to tell you this, lady. Do you have Netflix?
She's like, "No, I don't. I don't want to rent a video from a vending machine. I want Blockbuster."
I forgot that like technically that's what Red Tag.
Yeah, Netflix used to have like boxes.
Letterboxd something. It was called something different at the time.
I think I might be confusing like Redbox with like Netflix, which used to mail DVDs to you.
No, Netflix used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Netflix has been a company since like 1999.
Dude, you know the Zach Galifianakis stand-up Live at the Purple Onion? The one when he's like playing on the piano?
No.
That was a Netflix special before Netflix was a service.
Wow.
It was a Netflix original stand-up that was mailed to your house.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure it's still on the service. Here, let me put up Netflix.
I feel like they owe that to Zach Galifianakis.
I mean, why not, right?
He deserves to have that just like left on Netflix. It's like if YouTube took down Me at the Zoo. It's like, you're not going to take down Me at the Zoo. That was like your first fucking video.
Zach Galifianakis, Live at the Purple Onion, 2006.
Unbelievable.
A year after YouTube was invented.
God. Does it ever like blow your mind that we were alive for the invention of the internet?
Yeah, man.
That we have both lived in a pre and post internet world.
Well, it's funny, right?
And I can remember not having internet. You know, I can remember. You know, I don't really remember. I think my family has always had a personal computer in the house.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I had one of like the first Apple computers where you had to like insert a floppy disk to like play.
No way.
To play games on it.
I never had a computer that old.
That was one of my first toys. I still have it. I think it still works a little bit.
Those old computers were sturdy. Like, yeah. They were built to last.
They're not. It has a handle on it. Like, it's great.
Just in case you wanted to bring it somewhere.
It's great. No, my papa found one at a garage sale, which is like, you're a fucking idiot. You threw out a piece of like technological history. You just like gave it away at a garage sale for like $50 to some old man. I'm keeping it forever. I have everything. It has all the keyboards. It has all the mice, like everything.
Nice.
It's fully equipped.
You should restore that as a hobby.
I would love to.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, so I had that as a kid, and like that was like a toy for me. And then, like,
So your parents didn't want to get you an Xbox or a PlayStation, but they're like...
They were perfectly okay
Here's this 1990s Mac.
Yeah. Here's the first Mac.
Don't have too much fun downloading the Communist Manifesto. It's one of the 3 documents available on the internet right now.
Yeah. No, but I had that, and then eventually we got one of those, like, massive computers with, like, the vacuum tubes in the back and all that shit, and I played, like, little shitty games on that.
Do you ever play the school computer games like
Yeah, like Bailey's Bookhouse
or like
and
Math Circus?
Math Circus
was the shit.
Math Circus. Kid Picks?
No,
Tell me about some fucking Kid Picks.
My favorite part about doing Kid Picks was like drawing a bunch of nonsense and then blowing it up with the dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember Kid Picks 4?
I don't.
Okay, so Kid Picks 4 had a function on it where the eraser was a baby's head. It was like a 3D animated baby's head.
I'm already scared.
And it would talk every time it erased something. So, like... And it would say something different, like, every single time. And we used to love, because we were kids and we were annoying, we used to love, like, just going into Kid Picks, like, drawing, like, a streak across the window and just, like, wiping it out with this, like, baby head eraser. So it would, like, you'd, like, erase it and it would go, like, no.
Oh, I do remember that.
And then you do it again and it would say, like, I made a boo-boo. Yeah. Like, just do this, like, weird fucking voice. It was so...
Like, the third time, like, one of, like, the secret ones is, like, you draw it, and he's like, there's a little bit of poop in this diaper. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. No, that was my favorite fucking thing. And, like, it was so... It must have been so annoying being our, like, elementary school teacher, because we would go to the computer lab which is another fucking thing. The fucking computer lab. Do you remember
going to the lab? Yeah.
Do you remember how warm the computer lab would be all the time? Because
they put like 40 computers in there.
Yeah, it was so hot.
With the windows closed.
Yeah, it was so hot. You walk in,
it's just like boom. It
was so hot. But yeah, where was I going with that? Do you like how weird as an adult it would be to like see this like uncanny valley ass baby like singing, and all these kids are just like hitting it. They're just like it's so funny, and you're just like, please open pages.
That's like
do your projects.
That reminds me, my old university roommate Sasha was telling me a story one time about how he was babysitting for these kids. And do you remember the cartoon Sonic Underground?
Not like deeply.
It's the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon where he's in a band with his brother and sister who need to find their mother.
Right.
So it has this really like butt rock opening.
Yeah.
Like Sonic Underground.
Yeah.
Like something their mother will be found.
Yeah.
Sonic Underground. Like, you know, it's like really like butt rock.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he was babysitting these kids who all they wanted to do was watch the opening.
Oh.
For like 3 hours.
Just the opening?
On repeat.
Oh no.
So one time I used to watch the show all the time in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my roommates about it. And he was like, "Oh man, like we saw it on Netflix. We're like, do you guys want to watch an episode of Sonic Underground?" And Sasha was like, "No, please, God." No. And we're like, "Why?" He's like, "Because if I hear the opening, I might fucking kill someone." Just like snap.
Yeah.
But that's kids though.
Kids are so weird about that stuff, because like I don't know where they get the patience. I don't know if it's just that they don't have life experience.
I think it's just the stimulus.
Yeah, I guess it's just something about their undeveloped, like not completely developed brains.
Their shitty little kid
brains.
They
just don't mind listening to the same thing literally hundreds of times.
I was the same way. I listened to the Numa Numa Guy video like for like 40 times on repeat.
Oh my god, the Weird Al songs that we used to like play over and over again. And like this wasn't a Weird Al song, but like we found some parody song off of LimeWire called Elmo's Got a Gun.
Yeah, Elmo's got a gun.
And it was like and we listened to it all the time. I remember one time there was this song called Wipeout, and it was just like, it was a very like surfs up kind of like guitar riff, and like every once in a while this voice would just go Wipeout, Wipeout, Wipeout. And like we listened to that and just like found some skateboards and just like stood on it and just like rocked back and forth and pretended to be surfers.
Wipe out!
For like 4 hours. That was an afternoon.
I used to,
and we were like, great, see you tomorrow. Like, what?
One of my favorite N64 games is a game called Cruisin' USA.
Yeah.
It was an arcade title that they ported to the N64. And when you pop it in, it goes, Cruisin' USA. Like there's a guitar riff. And I used to listen to that for hours.
Yeah. What? Like,
but why
God. And then, like, you know, it carries on because I have heard horror stories from parents who have been like, my kids listen to Let It Go like 16 times
if
today.
I watch one more episode of Peppa Pig,
and
I
like
might not
every
be a parent
every
anymore.
time I try and turn off Let It Go, like they get mad at me.
Yeah.
Like they have to listen. It's the only, and they will not be pacified.
It's their cocaine.
They will not be pacified unless Let It Go is playing. Like I think I'm going to go fucking insane. And it's like that's so. Oof.
You know what you got to do as a parent?
I'm not looking forward to that part of being a parent.
I think my strategy for that, and I am by no means a parent, but my strategy for that will just be to get into the things my kids are into, so they don't like it anymore.
Just like ruin it, like be such a dad about it.
Yeah.
When like Frozen 14 comes out.
It's like in Us when the beginning when
spoilers.
In the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
When Winston Duke's character looks to the daughter and is like, "Hey, check this out," and then dabs. It's like, oh, Dad.
True.
Maybe we could talk about that and talk about Us.
Yeah, sure. Us spoilers ahead. We're just gonna spoil the whole fucking thing.
Talk about the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to avoid this, that's a shame. Anyway. Let's try to not spoil the major
twist?
plot point.
Like the twist?
The twist and what the movie is actually about.
Okay.
We can just talk about what we liked or didn't like about it.
Okay. So I saw Us for the culture. I just put on my black power fist right now. I just put on my black power fist right now.
It's actually been up the whole podcast. She never puts it down.
I can't feel my arm. I understand that I definitely could have just bought a ticket and then not gone. But the mentions of it on Twitter were driving me insane, and the FOMO was just getting unbearable. Yeah. So I chose a night where I knew that you would be staying over, and we went and saw Us with some friends, and it was good. I definitely, even though I think it's very good and it deserves all of the praise and all of the success that it's getting, and Lupita Nyong'o should get an Oscar for this movie.
I mean, she certainly, I think a nod for sure.
Fuck. Like, holy shit.
She did really well.
There were times in this movie where, okay, so when you and I were in school, we had to take a physical movement class. Yeah. And we hated it because it just sounded like a bunch of woo-woo.
Yeah.
Like,
be a mountain. Yeah. And then feel the color purple in your balls.
Imagine a string lifting your head up. Now send that energy across campus. And it's like, I'm in a room.
And then I fire a beam out of my hand like Dragon
exactly.
Ball.
Like, now feel the beam of light coming from your chest. I'm like, what the fuck does that? And then like, anyways, it was very hard for me to put into context and actually get into and then do the assignments properly. But like, I saw this movie and like, yes, Lupita Nyong'o did amazing with her characterization of her tether red, but like every single actor in that movie, every extra, I could see, I was like, oh, that's what that looks like when you understand movement and take it seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And do a good job at it.
Even the kids, Winston Duke's character, they all had excellent character movement.
Yeah.
Like, all of their body language was very clear. Like, I from the second I saw Winston Duke's character, I was like, I mean, obviously he's
his character
dad.
or his tether?
Like either, really.
Okay.
But I'm speaking more of his character.
Okay.
Like the father of the group.
Yeah.
Like he had, he walked and like behaved Gabe. And dressed just like a young dad would. Like, it was all really, really good work in that respect.
Yeah.
And then the movie itself is just so fucking detailed.
Yeah.
I really enjoy...
Great shots. Like, there's this shot where... And, like, I love it. And it's so old school, but it didn't feel like Jordan Peele was just recycling an old-timey, like, horror movie angle. It felt like it had a purpose. It was a shot where... Lupita Nyong'o's character... What's her character's name again? It started with an A.
The mother. Call her the mother.
The mother, the mother is standing in a classroom and she's talking to her tether, and
oh, you mean like
she's talking to Red,
and then her
and the
eye?
face is like super like half of Red's face is like super juxtaposed like onto the screen, and like Lupita, like the mother character, is standing in the background and she's like not 100% in focus, and like the character's just like talking and like doing a monologue, and you just see half her face, and she's like so, and she's cutting up paper people, like a paper chain of people, and she's like focusing on it really hard, and her eye is like unblinking. She like never blinks.
Yeah, and she's also not. What really creeped me out in that particular shot is that her eye isn't focused on what she's doing.
Yes.
It almost looked like it's like trying to look back at the mother, which is really, really creepy.
It's like what she's really doing is she's looking at the character, but because they're tethered, they're the same person, quote unquote. Oh God, what is the fucking character's name? Anyways, because they're the same person, quote unquote, like, you know, you can look at Red's face and like see the mother's face. It's it's
both played by Lupita Nyong'o.
It's really, really interesting. I really like the way.
If there's one thing I actually didn't like about the movie, it was in the first 5 minutes. There's that shot, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's a shot of the rabbit's eye, and it's panning out, and it's going, ooh, ee, ha, he, hoo, he, ha, he. I thought that lasted way too fucking long. That was like
Adelaide. Adelaide is the name of Lupita's first character.
Okay, so Adelaide. Yeah. We'll keep that in mind. But that particular sequence of like the rabbits, I thought I thought this is so gaudy. This is so fucking hoity-toity, in my opinion.
I just felt like it took a long time.
I was losing
patience with it.
Right? Like
I felt like I was never gonna get out of it. I felt like it was gonna expand to this wall of rabbits and the credits would roll.
I felt the same way. I was like, this is really long. Like the opening sequence to Get Out was not this long, and it did the same amount of legwork of like introducing the concepts, because I mean, without giving any spoilers, you can actually read into that opening sequence and actually get an idea for the whole movie, which is pretty cool. But that's what I like about Jordan Peele so far. You know, his sophomore movie proved that he's not, you know, he didn't get it right once. He's going to be here for a while, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. So I'm on like a weird sketch comedy trip right now. I'm watching a lot of sketch comedy. I blasted my way through Kroll Show a couple months ago, and then I was like, if I watched Kroll Show, why am I not watching Key and Peele? Key and Peele was on at the same time, and then for longer. Like, why am I not watching this?
And they ended on their own terms.
Not a slight to Kroll Show, because I thought I've read interviews with Nick Kroll, and my impression that I gleaned from it was that like Kroll Show was on at the same time that Inside Amy Schumer and Key and Peele were on, which are like mega popular sketch shows. And it got a little overshadowed, and I think he got a little butthurt about that, and just kind of like, that's my impression. He's never said that before, but like that was just my impression.
You like go back on Nick Kroll's Twitter, and he's just like, I fucking hate Amy Schumer.
No, he like gives this like Rolling Stone recently did like a profile about him, and he was like, I might be more competitive than I give myself credit for. So I think that he just kind of like got a little frustrated about how his show was being perceived as in regards to like Key and Peele and Inside Amy Schumer.
Yeah, two shows that lasted far longer.
Regardless, Kroll Show is amazing. Please go watch Kroll Show. But because I finished Kroll Show, I was like, oh, let's see like what else was going on at this time. What was the zeitgeist of like sketch comedy a couple years ago? And I've been watching Key and Peele, and like a lot of their sketches, because they're both fans of horror, both Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. And a lot of their sketches involve like horror situations, like or like scenes with like violence.
Oh, dude, I think like that. The line between horror and comedy is really thin. Yeah,
and it just goes to show that like this sort of thing has been in Jordan Peele's mind all along. Like I can see where, you know, while he and Keegan-Michael Key were like working on these sketches, he was like, okay, but what if I just didn't do a punchline here? I can almost see him wishing that he could just like flesh out some of the sketches into full-fledged horror movies and like just not do a comedy sketch.
I've always said,
not that he was unsatisfied with them, but it's just like, I think that the ideas were there because the sketches that they do that are comedic are just very good horror movie concepts.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think Get Out, in my opinion,
they have a really great sketch with like racist zombies. Like they're in a zombie apocalypse, but the zombies won't attack them because they're black. And it's really fucking funny, but it's like Get Out is about like white people fucking like stealing black people's brains. It's like this could be if you I don't want to say if you took this seriously because comedy is very serious actually, but like if you wrote a serious like script, like you can flesh this out into a horror movie.
Yeah, 100%. For sure.
A good horror movie.
I think Get Out, in its concept, is a Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah.
On some level. Like, if they change the tone of things, the idea of, like, this black dude unraveling this, like, white mystery of, like, body snatching, like, the one thing separating that from being horror and comedy is, like, Daniel Kaluuya's character being, like, oh, fuck this, and like, you know, like getting like vocal about it. But
no, like if it was a Key and Peele sketch, then like Daniel Kaluuya's character would have clued into it much faster. Like Lil Rel would like call him and be like, Chris, I think these people are body snatching. And he'd be like, I think you're fucking right, and he would like he would find that like deer antler, Get Out spoiler, and just like impale the whole family way faster.
Actually, you know what? No, to go back to Us and Get Out, one of my favorite parts about Jordan Peele's horror movies thus far, and I hope he keeps this in all of them, is that I really like how he writes competent horror characters.
Yes,
like
100%.
Both that's Chris and the family from Get Out both show resourcefulness and intelligence when it comes to dealing with the situation they're in. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's room for characters to be thwarted by the horror they face. And that's kind of missing in both these movies. But you know what? There's so many movies where the fucking characters just do something stupid.
Yeah.
Like they walk into a house that is very clearly haunted, and it's like, what if we go straight to the basement and not bring any flashlights, and then maybe take all of our clothes off and lie down on the ground? Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
You know, but I appreciate the competent horror characters. I think that's really, really great.
And it just goes to show that, like, you don't have to be stupid to have scary things happen to you. You don't have to eliminate thought and like due process in order to have scary things happen to you.
Well, I think it's really, really cool because it then forces the monster to be, or the monster. I use monster in this conversation.
The monster is like a character. It's like the hero.
Yeah, like the evil entity in a horror movie, like your Jasons and your Freddys, like the monsters.
Yeah.
It forces them to be even better. Because, you know, the monsters in movies usually have the upper hand.
Yeah.
And when faced with a competent character, it's easy to see how fast they can crumble. But I think with Jordan Peele, and I think this will be more explored as he continues to make movies, is that he'll have to get really crafty with how his monster beats his characters.
Yes.
Because his characters are so competent.
Yeah.
But look at in Us, small Us spoiler, I suppose. In Us, Winston Duke's character gets his bat stolen from him.
Yes.
And then they injure his leg.
Yes.
And his leg is then injured for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That is a really smart decision because Winston Duke is a big dude.
Yeah.
And frankly, if Winston Duke dealt with his tether, they wouldn't be a threat anymore. If Winston Duke was at full athletic capability and he wasn't injured, the threat wouldn't feel like a threat because he would beat everything. Unless, of course, you know, he got overrun or something. But like, that's what I thought that particular moment when they injured Winston Duke was a really, really smart narrative choice.
Yeah.
Because it makes the threat feel real still.
Yeah. It also just goes to show that like these characters are smart because he's still another. It's not really a spoiler, but like Us spoiler, right?
It's the first half of the movie. It's the first half of the movie.
A big major spoiler here when like Winston Duke's character Gabe does kill his tether. It's like, where was I going with this? Basically, like he's still smart, you know. Like he works with what he has to like still conquer his enemy.
But I also just really enjoy. The first 25 minutes of the movie sets up what is essentially going to be the rest of the movie. You know, like they introduce like the boat, which comes into play when Winston Duke faces off with his tether. They introduce the white family, and then what happens to them eventually becomes full circle.
Yo.
You know?
Okay.
The daughter and the running, like that's all
that she's a
very
track star.
Organic.
Yeah, that she's into track and field.
Their family dynamic was really strong. I
loved that. Yeah,
I thought that was really well written.
Yeah.
Actually, before you continue, do you know what my favorite detail about before the horror kicks off in that movie is? When they get to the cabin and they're all eating like the fake Taco Bell that they have.
Yeah.
Did you notice that Lupita Nyong'o's character was eating strawberries?
Yeah.
I was like, that is such a mom thing.
Yeah.
To
that's
like
what your mom does.
Eat fruit while everyone else is like
eating trash.
Eating shit. Like that was one of my favorite details.
Yep. So this movie is about Black excellence. and or it's about propelling Black excellence, and I'm so fucking for that.
Yeah, man.
But like, props to fucking Jordan Peele for getting Elisabeth Moss, who played Kitty, the white mom.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, I love her. I had a small time where, and it's not completely done yet, but like, I'm kind of slowly working my way through Mad Men right now.
That's right.
I'm both watching and not watching Mad Men. I'm on like the second season or something like that. Like, I'm not committed to it or anything. But one thing, and I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale, which she is the star of, and I think she's won an Emmy for that performance. But she's a really fucking strong actor, and I knew that. And as soon as I knew that she was attached to this project, I was like, cool, good performances all around from every actor. This is like an A1 cast of actors.
No, really good casting all around.
But she does a silent scream in this movie, and like, I don't know if anybody knows, like, I don't know what kind of audience this is going to attract, but like, as an actor and like someone who's been to theater school, like, the silent scream is a really, really hard thing to do convincingly.
Yeah, that's the key signifier, convincingly.
And she does it really well. Like, she does it really, really well. And like, I forget the whole like horror, the fact that I'm watching a horror movie. That part gave me chills.
No, yeah.
Because, and it's a silent scream that turns into a silent laugh. Like a maniacal, evil laugh.
Yeah.
And like, the fact that I am sitting on a couch right now telling you this, that I got that, is fucking incredible.
Right.
Like, oh my god.
No,
goals.
she nailed it, man. Yeah.
Fucking goals. Yes, like, Lupita Nyong'o is like goals forever and always, but like, that scream, whew.
No, she killed it, man. I really have to hand it, because
oh my god,
I know Jordan Peele's gone on record to be like, I will never cast, or well, he doesn't see himself casting white folks.
See himself casting white leads.
White leads, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
There are white people leads. In all, like, both of his major feature film releases right now.
And you know what? Like, I don't think that's I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to think. He's a black film creator.
Yeah.
He wants to support black artists and especially black films. So like,
he wants to continue this like vibe that we have going right now of like,
dude,
black led movies doing well.
Didn't Woody Allen or some shit like say a couple years ago, like,
yeah, it was Woody Allen.
It was like, oh, I don't want to cast people of color unless the role calls for it. Like, what does that mean?
No, he said that he just can't see. He said something like he can't see a role, or he can't see like a black actor like fitting the role of a lead in like any movie that he's done. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so I haven't seen very many Woody Allen movies. I've seen Midnight in Paris and Blue Jasmine. Those are the only Woody Allen movies that I've seen.
A lot of people have said that's the only ones you have to see.
You don't. Okay, if you have seen A Streetcar Named Desire, you don't have to see Blue Jasmine because it's just A Streetcar Named Desire. But Horn and everything. But like,
Woody Allen. You're talking about Woody Allen.
I know. I'm just trying to fathom the stupidity of such a comment, because both of those movies aren't specific to the white experience. They're not specific to the Caucasian experience. Yeah. Midnight in Paris is about a man who like is having a hard time dealing with the present and finds a way to go back to like 1920s Paris every single night, and he just like can't stand the thought of going back and dealing with what's going on in his real life. You don't have to be a white person to do that.
Yeah,
you can be anybody.
It's true.
You know, if Woody Allen exclusively made movies about the Holocaust, I'd be like, cool, cast white Jewish actors only.
Yeah, sure.
You know? But like, if you make movies about the human experience, cast humans.
That's my opinion, man.
That's all it is. And if you say like, I just don't see how like a black person could ever, you don't think that black people ever get like caught up in not being able to deal with what's going on in their present and like yearn for nostalgia and like a past easier time? Are you fucking kidding me?
I just don't get that line of thought. I don't understand.
You just don't know any black people. And like, I also like,
but Woody Allen apparently is not a great person.
I've also like, I've like I've read interviews with black entertainers who say that Woody Allen is a huge influence on them. Chris Rock loves Woody Allen.
No way.
And like loves Woody Allen movies. So it's like, And I know that's not the best. That's not the best impression because, like, as of this recording, Chris Rock made some like shitty comment at the NAACP Image Awards saying that like Jussie Smollett was a liar. Or some shit. He just like gave Jussie Smollett shit.
Was that before or after the recent?
It was after.
Okay.
It was after everything.
Yeah.
So like not the best example right now, but like there is a black person. Okay, he's still a black human being who relates to Woody Allen's movies and the themes that are evoked in Woody Allen movies. So, like, why can't a black person be in a Woody Allen movie? Mm-hmm. That's a bad idea. Whereas, like, Jordan Peele, I also gotta say, for supporting characters, the white folks in his movies are, like, really interesting.
Talking about Jordan Peele now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In both Get Out and Us, the white characters look
very well fleshed out.
They look like fun characters to sink your teeth into as an actor.
Well, it's clear.
So, like, I don't know why anybody is butthurt at all. Anybody who's butthurt about that is only concerned with, like, the literal amount of time that they spend on screen. And that's not what your concern as an actor should be.
No, yeah, so, like, it is clear that Jordan Peele wants all of his characters to be as fleshed out as his main characters. Because I felt I felt like I knew that white family.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I full disclosure, like, I'm a white person. I grew up with a white family.
And I'm a black person.
So, I felt like I knew someone like that.
Yeah.
Like the mom, like especially the daughters. Like, I definitely feel like I knew people...
Yeah,
I grew up with in high
those
school.
Those white daughters who were like they like tripped over the little son's sandcastle, and then they walked up to the older teenage sister, and they were like, "Oh, that's kid shit. Oh, your brother's still making sandcastles. That's such kid shit."
She's like 9. he
is a kid.
Nah,
but yeah, I have known those teenage girls. 100%.
And you know what?
And I've definitely gone on vacations with those white girls, and like the mom is like, "Oh, like." Shelly's gonna be so excited to see you, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then you, like, hang out with Shelly for a second, and she's, like, a spoiled brat, and you have nothing in common.
And you just don't want to hang out, because why would you? You two don't know each other.
Yeah.
And then you're being forced to hang out.
Yeah.
So what is that with parents, right? That is such a weird thing, where it's like, oh, they're kids, they'll just get along because they're kids.
My mom used to love the trap of, like, oh, like, come with me to my friend's house, there'll be other kids there, and just, like, throw me in this, like, pit. They throw you into the basement, and it's like, it's essentially a pit, and like, you look at each other, and you're like, oh, like, hi, hey, what are you doing? We're doing this. Do you want to join? Yeah, sure. But you don't really join in. You don't do anything. And then, like, the parents look at you, and they're like, they come downstairs, and they're like, are you kids okay? Like, do you need any snacks? And they go upstairs, and they're like, oh, they're getting along so well. And I'm like, I'm having a miserable fucking time.
They come downstairs, like, you guys want anything? You get any help? And, like, the guy's like, well, actually, I'd like... And they just left already.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm like, great. I'm in my own personal hell. Yeah.
No, I managed to shut that down pretty quickly when I was a kid.
Well, you were allowed to be assertive as a kid.
Well, yeah, that is very true. But I was also very independent when I was younger.
I was very independent too, and I was very content because I'm an only child, so like it was doubly awkward for me because it's not like my mom took like me and like my sibling. It was like, okay, kids, go play, and I just like looked at my sibling and we just like dealt with each other for the next like little bit. I was truly alone with strange kids that I did not know. I was 100% alone. So usually what I would do is I would just like go back upstairs and hang out with the adults.
I had a better time hanging out with the adults anyway.
I was also obsessed with being an adult as a kid. Like I just really wanted to be an adult, and I didn't want to do kid shit.
But now, okay, a question for you then. Now that you are an adult, are you one of those adults who then like yearns for childhood?
I definitely wish that I took my time with my childhood a little bit more.
Me too.
And let myself be a kid. But I really don't give myself too much of a hard time about that because really the only reason I wanted to be an adult so badly is because adults got to do whatever they wanted and they didn't have to ask anybody before they wanted to do it.
Right.
And like I love that now. Like I may have like tons of bills to pay and like all it's anxiety, but like I really do like that. Last night I wanted to go out and buy a water pick. And so I left and I did.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I wanted something and I had the means to do so. So I just left and got it. And I didn't have to ask anyone. And I didn't have to, consult anyone beforehand. And I didn't have to convince anyone to let me do it. I literally got home from going out to dinner with some friends, was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. And then I left and I did it. And it was fucking great. It was the best thing. That's all I've ever wanted. Is to just not have to. I always hated having to ask people to do stuff before I went and did it.
Yeah.
I've always hated that.
You still hate that.
That's partly why I was such a goody two-shoes as a kid, is because goody two-shoes had to ask for things less and less. because adults trusted you.
Right.
So they'd be like, yeah, sure, you can go off completely on your own and do something because I know that you're not going to fuck around.
Yeah,
and I was like, fine. You know, if I wanted to be able to go and fuck around, then I had to be a good person. So not a good person, but I had to be a good kid.
A good kid, whatever that meant.
Yeah, I just wanted to be trusted.
Yeah. Well,
go see us.
Yeah, go see us. Go to Cuba.
Yeah.
Get diarrhea. Run up a hill.
Tell us about it.
And then die. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
This has been the Chill Spot Podcast.
Yeah, I hope you feel chill.
We'll be back again next week with some more chill and spotting and podcasting. Mm-hmm. Our Twitters will be in the description below, where they always are.
Yep.
And we will see you all next time.
Meow. Yeah.